Welcome to La Voix. Here, in this ever-moving world, let's take a moment, just a moment, to listen closely to those who speak rarely. Their presence and way of being carve out a meaningful path, a voice. That's meaning us that elegance and sincerity are guiding light. That's meaning us that elegance and sincerity are guiding lights, and that they too can be ours.
I'm very glad you accepted to join our podcast and to share with us your experiences and your point of view on this specific topic, the importance of elegance in behaviors. So, could you introduce yourself for our audience, please?
Yes, so my name is Sylvie Regina. I am from Martinique. What can I say? I lived abroad for quite a long time. I lived in the USA. I worked in marketing and public relations. I am also a translator. I worked as a translator when I lived in Montreal, Canada. And now I teach English to students at the University of the Antilles in Martinique, students in economics, in public relations. I'm sorry, in political science, not public relations, my mistake. And last week, I went with 15 students to Barbados to meet with all the institutions that are based in Barbados, such as the United Nations, agencies, and also the European Union delegation to CARICOM, OECS, and the rest of the Caribbean.
If you agree, we will take time to talk about different parts of your intervention, because you talk about your past and what you did, and it's very impressive because you traveled a lot around the world for your job, for your personal life. And this is a very important point for me, because you learned English and you use it for your personal life and your professional life, and you are an interpreter. So it's specific. So if you want, we can talk about that a little.
Yes.
And we can move on the present time, not the present, the last week, but you understand what I mean.
Yes.
Because I think we can share a lot to our audience about these two parts of your life.
Okay.
Okay, so if I can ask you some things about your past, it's when you were, for example, in Canada, what was important for you to share when you talk about elegance, or in the reverse? For you, do you think elegance was important for all the people in Canada? You can answer what you want, what question you want.
In Canada, to tell you the truth, compared to my previous professional life, elegance was not the main important thing, because as you know, it's quite cold most
Okay.
for many months of the year. So I believe
perhaps behaviors, because when we talk about elegance, we talk about clothes, but and about behaviors you had. This was not important.
I think that's my analysis.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that because of the wet, for example, I'm going to give you a very, very, it sounds petty, but when during the winter in Canada, mm-hmm. So when you go to somebody's house, you bring your shoes, your real elegant shoes inside, and you change. You leave your boots at the entrance, and you wear you wear real normal shoes inside, even in the midst of winter.
Mm-hmm.
And elegance indeed is in the way you behave yourself, but I think it's more, it is more present in a setting like a big city like New York, where women have to walk before they get to the office. But
when I'm listening to you, this makes me smile because it's the most important for me to share what is important for people, and it's not just only about clothes, like you
no,
said,
that's true.
because if the weather is not good, you will not be able to wear every time beautiful clothes or feminine things. But if you have good behaviors, you are able to say good morning, you have to stretch your body or sit a certain type of way, or talk with people correctly. This for me is a part of elegance, not only your appearance,
So true.
how you appear. So it's funny.
It's very subtle.
Yes, you talk about that.
Indeed, elegance is also the way you interact with people.
For me, but you don't.
Yes.
You don't
no, I agree. I totally agree. You cannot go in an elevator without being, nice and polite. I've always been very, there is one thing that struck me when I used to live in a big city like New York, for example, is how people total strangers on the street would stop you and pay you a compliment just because of the way you walk or the way you appear, because of your appearance. Very simple. People are not at all stingy with their compliments on the subway. That definitely contribute to even your self-confidence in how you present yourself and you behave. Definitely.
And it's interesting too because you moved on different part of the world, and even if it's very close, Canada and US and New York, the expectations are different when we talk about weather, for example, or when we talk about places. And like you said, people wait for different things and act differently in different area or environments. But everybody give importance or analyze situation and behaviors. And it's interesting to pinpoint on that. And now you talk about Barbados when we have to move in the present, and you talk about very specific places and governmental place and people. Let us know what's happening.
I don't know. I can see the difference in a way. I think it's really cultural. I think that Anglo-Saxon culture is a little more formal, a little more. I don't know. We were invited during our stay with the students. We were invited to the ambassador's residence, the ambassador to the European Union residence, and on the invite, it was written elegantly casual.
Oh.
And for 3 days,
it's difficult.
Every day, everybody was wondering, what does it really mean? I don't have anything to really, for that event. And this elegantly casual was probably the first time everybody in our group heard that expression. Because how can you, match being elegant to at the same time be casual? You know, it's like it looks like two antonyms, but they when put together, those two words, elegantly casual. So for 3 days,
Review
some of
here.
them, some students were like, should we buy new clothes? Should we do with whatever we had? And they actually, everybody for that evening looked indeed very elegant, and at the same time, without doing too much, uh, with little things here and there, they managed to look great. Okay, so they wore. It's not really about what they wore, you know. It's just it was still not showing too much skin. Okay, uh, they managed to look amazing, and it was not only because of their clothes. It was because they were proud also. So the pride they had because we were going to that event was probably more predominant.
It's interesting
It was really
because again, uh, you give me ideas, and this creates a reflection on me. If you don't know the codes, the social codes, the etiquette, you cannot invent it. So
exactly.
you have to receive it in your childhood or during your job, or you have to ask people. And it's very simple. You don't have to be afraid or confused because we don't know. We're not able to know everything about every culture. It's an intercultural things, and it's interesting to talk about that. You, if you don't know, you just have to ask. And after
That's
that,
so true.
like you say, self-control and self-confidence grow up.
Yes. But etiquette, I like that word because it's a word that is used in English. There is no equivalent in English. Etiquette. It's something that is used for communication, even when you send an email to someone. There is a certain etiquette to be respected. Yes.
It's like I said, a way to create connection, to interact with people. So can you give me a memorable moment or an anecdote where behavior's elegance played a key role in your journey, in your life?
Wow. There are many moments where I had to really think about how I would show myself. I think the most striking one that comes to mind is that one evening where I was invited to a very important black tie event, and I was younger, and I didn't know what, I didn't have the means to buy anything expensive. So I chose to really kind of like show one side that was. I remember an artist who was living in the building where I used to live. She was a jewelry maker. She used to make amazing jewelry, and she lent me this one huge necklace that covered, like most of the top of my bust.
Yes.
And it looked. I was very proud to wear that. So my dress underneath wasn't, the most striking dress. That was the most striking piece of jewelry I'd ever worn, and I felt extremely elegant because it wasn't just because it was beautiful, but because it was a sign that this artist trusted me to wear that piece of jewelry. And everybody complimented me, and I felt very, very proud to wear that.
So details count, and more is not the most important.
No, is that so true?
It's interesting. And so you talk about Barbados, for example. You talk about the university, your current job now. How do you cultivate or pass on savoir-vivre or savoir-être now in your professional life or personal, if you prefer?
Well, I believe it's a mix of everything. I teach English, so I make sure I tell the students not to use slang or to use, expressions. A lot of my students are pretty good in English, but they tend to speak in a very casual way, like, and even to write in a very casual way, like I'm gonna, I wanna, and so there is this very subtle. It's a mix of everything. Communication, the way you communicate yourself to the other is where the way you sit and talk to someone.
Why do you think it's important?
It's important because it conveys how respectful you are of the person you're talking to. It's important to show respect. It's important to show that you care. So the way you interact with a person in very subtle manners is very important.
How old they are?
My students are 20, in their 20s, in their early 20s.
They are very young. And do you feel or do you see a difference between us and you, or us and and your kid, for example? I don't know if you have kids, but if you have
yes.
a kid, do you feel a difference?
I don't know if I'm biased, but I teach students in management, and there is this one unit that I teach about working with different generations. I definitely see the difference between my generation and theirs. Most of my students are what we call Generation Z, Gen Zers. They have different sets of expectations. They have different sets of values. They have it comes with their generation. They were born with phones. They were born with the internet. That definitely changes their mindset, the way they see the world. Okay,
but they understand when you
they
talk
do
about elegance, etiquette, and not just hear, but understand deeply. Do you think they understand that, or they feel
they do
in their life?
They know, they do. That's not true. I believe this generation, well, my students, they value my input. They value what I say. In the end, it's just a matter of values. I think the older generation has so much to share, and the younger generation, I think they're eager to know more. They have their own ways of thinking, or their own ways of viewing the world. But in the end, they are eager also to learn from their elders, in fact.
And you think they are open-minded?
They are. They're so much more worldly, if I would say. They have this amazing opportunity to see their environment as, like, the world is so much smaller for them.
It's hopeful, because when people say it's almost impossible to be in touch with them because we are so different. They are on their phone or online, and we are not because we are older. We need to touch, and they just need to listen and think like that. Like you talk about gap, generation gap. And when I'm listening to you today, yes, it's like an open door. Okay, we can do it. We can try because they are open-minded.
I think the previous generation shouldn't just say, "Oh, they are so different from us." On the contrary, probably I'm the one who has to basically do my best to be at their level, to try to see how they function in a way. And I enjoy seeing the differences. I enjoy talking about them. I enjoy,
It's
I tell them that, yes,
it's
it's intergenerational, communication is very important. So, yes.
So we talk about a lot of things: interculturality, intergeneration, and travel. And so, could you share with us, give us a gift about something you want? Could you give us a value you want we remember?
It's difficult. I would say it's important to care about each other. I mean, we live in a world where we have so much negative information, so much reality checks. Okay, it's important to make sure that we don't see the times we're living in as just like in our own individual bubble. And it's important to be open-minded. Open-mindedness is probably the key, and we have to care.
Why? If I have to annoy you a little bit.
No. I think it's important to care because it's the only way we have to really show our presence, our importance. It's not just by what we have, it's by what we are. Okay, I think being is more important than just having.
It's very deep and beautiful sentence because it's a way to see people and to move on the world, because we need to be in touch. We need to talk with people and to grow and to create connection. And I know you traveled a lot, and yes, to be can be a beautiful way to see life.
Exactly. Well, thank you very much, Lara. I really enjoyed our conversation.
Me too. I hope the auditors too. And thank you to join us. Thank you for this time, this beautiful time and beautiful point of view. And listen to you in another episode.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Just listen to La Voix d'Ora, a pause, a brace of inspiration. May these voices continue to light your way wherever you are, and perhaps invite you to turn your daily life into a true art of living.